ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ಜಿಲ್ಲಾ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಸಂವರ್ಧನಾ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಡಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಡಯಟ್ ಮಧುಗಿರಿ ಹಾಗೂ ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಲರ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸಹಯೋಗದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಮಧುಗಿರಿ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನಡೆಯುತ್ತಿರುವ ಪ್ರಾಥಮಿಕ ಶಾಲಾ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರ ಅನುಭವಾತ್ಮಕ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ತರಬೇತಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈಗ ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ನೋಡಲ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಕಟ್ಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪ ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಅವರಿಂದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ನುಡಿ. ಹಾಗೆ ಈ ದಿನದ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳು ಹಾಗೂ ಸುಗಮಕಾರರ ತಂಡವನ್ನು ಸಹ ಪರಿಚಯ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ಕೊಂತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ. ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಕಟ್ಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪ ಸರ್ ಅವರು.
ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಈಗಾಗಲೇ ತಿಳಿದಿರುವ ಹಾಗೆ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ವಿಷಯ ಬೋಧಿಸುವ ಕಿರಿಯ ಹಾಗೂ ಹಿರಿಯ ಪ್ರಾಥಮಿಕ ಶಾಲಾ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗಾಗಿ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರ ಅನುಭವಾತ್ಮಕ ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ತರಬೇತಿ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಲಾಗುತ್ತೆ. ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಆಯೋಜನೆಗಾಗಿ ಸಹಕರಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ YN ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ತುಮಕೂರು ಡಯಟಿನ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀಯುತ ಕೃಷ್ಣಮೂರ್ತಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ತುಮಕೂರು ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ನಂಜಯ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತ. ನಮ್ಮ ಡಯಟ್ನ ಹಿರಿಯ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪ್ರಮುಖ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಬರೀ ಇಂಗ್ಲಿಷ್ ವಿಷಯಕ್ಕೆ ನನ್ನ ನೋಡಲ್ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಎಲ್ಲಾ ವಿಷಯಗಳ ಒಂದು ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೀಡಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಮ್ಮ ಹಿರಿಯ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕರಾದ ಸಿ ಎನ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣಪ್ಪ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ನನ್ನೆಲ್ಲ ಉಪನ್ಯಾಸಕ ವರ್ಗದವರು ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಅನ್ನಪೂರ್ಣ, ನವೀನ್ ಕುಮಾರ್, ದಿನೇಶ್ ಹಾಗೂ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ನೆರವು ನೀಡತಕ್ಕಂಥದ್ದು ಮತ್ತು ಸಹಭಾಗಿಯಾಗಿ ನಡೆಸ್ಕೊಡ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥವ್ರು ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯವರು. ಆ ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಸೈಯದ್ ಆತಿಕ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು, ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರು, ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸಹೋದ್ಯೋಗಿ ಮಿತ್ರರೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ಸೇರ್ಕೊಂಡು ಇದರ ಹಿಂದೆ ಅತ್ಯಂತ ಶ್ರಮದಾಯಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ಮಾಡುತ್ತಾ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಜೊತೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತಿದ್ದೇನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಇವತ್ತಿನ ದಿನದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ತಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಮಾರ್ಗದರ್ಶನ ನೀಡಲಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಮಟ್ಟದ RP ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸವನ್ನು ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸುತ್ತಾ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದಲ್ಲಿ RP ಆಗಿ ಕೆಲಸ ನಿರ್ವಹಿಸತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಿಂಧು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹಾರ್ದಿಕವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ ನ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆ ವತಿಯಿಂದ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಿಸರ್ಗ BS ಇವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಆತ್ಮೀಯವಾದ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಬಯಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಅದೇ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಮತ್ತೊಬ್ಬ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿ ವೈದೇಹಿ ಪಥಕ್ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥವ್ರು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವ್ರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಸ್ವಾಗತವನ್ನು ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ ಎಲ್ಲರ ಸಹಯೋಗದೊಂದಿಗೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಯಾಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಹಾರೈಸುತ್ತಾ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಪ್ರತ್ಯಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಪರೋಕ್ಷವಾಗಿ ಸಹಕರಿಸುತ್ತಿರುವ ಎಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಗದ ಅಧಿಕಾರಿಗಳು, ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರು, ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತೊಮ್ಮೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಕೋರುತ್ತಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸರ್. 3ನೇ ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಬನ್ನಿ ನೋಡೋಣ.
Hello and good morning. Welcome to today's session. I am Vaidehi and I will be one of your facilitators. The topics that we will cover today are phonics, simile metaphor, personification, and punctuation. While discussing each of these topics, we will go through 4 important checkpoints. They are: 1. About the concept, where we will understand what each concept means. 2. Transaction ideas, where we will see ideas which we as teachers and educators can apply and use in our classrooms based on the needs of our children. 3. What did we learn, where we will recap each concept that we have learned and strengthen our understanding. And the 4th and most fun checkpoint, fun with English, where we will learn about interesting ideas based on the different concepts that we have learned. I hope you are all excited for today's session. Let's get started.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Vaidehi. This is Nisarga here.
Hi, Nisarga. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am fine too.
I call you for a reason. There are online classes going on for my daughter. During English class, I noticed that she was using some different method to read words. Example, instead of reading bat as bat, bat, she is reading it as bat. Do you have any idea about the method that she is using?
I think that you are dealing with something known as phonics. I am not very familiar with phonics, but my dear friend and mentor, Miss Sindhu, is an expert at teaching phonics. She is sitting next to me right now. Why don't you speak to her about this?
Sure, Vaidehi.
I will give the phone to her. She will definitely clear all your doubts.
Sure.
Hello, Nisarga.
Hi, Sindhu.
Hello. Tell me,
Hi,
Nisarga.
I hope you heard what I spoke to Vaidehi. Can you
Yes.
help me understand what are phonics?
Really? Okay. Phonics is a method used to teach reading and writing of English by developing awareness to hear, identify, and manipulate the units of sounds. The main aim of phonics is to enable the learners to break the words by sounding them out while reading and writing.
Sindhu, why do we need phonics?
Phonics helps in identification of alphabet. After identification, it helps to pronounce them using the sounds associated with each letter or combination of certain letters. Using the knowledge of sounds, we easily can read the text as well as write it. And basics of any language depends on the four major skills. They are listening, speaking, reading, and writing. In short, we call them as LSRW. The basics of LSRW can be achieved through phonics easily.
Can you tell me what are the components of phonics?
Yeah. Phonic approach begins with the identification of 26 letters and reproducing their sounds. Along with the sounds of 26 letters, there are 18 special sounds produced with the combination of 2 letters. The progression continues with 2-letter words, then 3-letter words. After that comes the blends, then digraphs, sight words, and magic keywords.
Okay. Totally, how many sounds are there?
In phonics, there are 44 sounds, out of which 26 sounds are of 26 letters of the alphabet, and the rest 18 sounds are called as special sounds formed by the combination of letters.
Can you teach me how to pronounce these sounds?
Nisarga, my friend Miss Angel of Sounds would help you in this. Miss Angel of Sound, could you please demonstrate the sounds of 26 letters of English alphabet?
Let us start with the letter A. A sounds A. Action for this letter would be A, A, A. It's like an ant moving on your arm with the sound A, A, A. Next we have B. B sounds B. Action for this letter would be B, B, B. Here you're trying to hit a ball with the bat with the sound B, B, B. You all can repeat after me. B sounds B, B, B. Then we have C. C sounds K. For this, you have to imagine there are crows crowing around you with the sound K, K, K. C sounds K, K, K. Then we have D. D sounds Da. For this, you have to pretend like you're hitting a drum with the sound Da, Da, Da. D sounds Da, Da, Da. Next, we have E. E sounds A. For this, you have to pretend like you are breaking the egg and trying to put it on the pan with the sound A, A, A. E sounds A, A, A. Next, we have F. F sounds F. If you're not able to hear this sound properly, it's F. You just have to drag that sound a bit. It would sound F. Action for this sound would be an inflated balloon is deflating with the sound. You all can repeat after me. F sounds. Next, we have G. For this, we have G, G, G. G sounds G, G, G. It's like water is gurgling down the plug hole with the sound G, G, G. Next, we have H. H sounds Ha. Action for this letter would be this sound must come from your stomach. H sounds. Next, we have I. I sounds E. For this, you have to pretend like there is a mouse and ink just fell on that mouse, and that mouse is making a sound E, E, E. I sounds E, E, E. Next, we have J. J sounds Ja. Action for the letter would be Ja, Ja, Ja. It's like you're holding jellies and you're juggling those jellies with the sound Ja, Ja, Ja. Next, we have K. K sounds K. For this, you have to pretend like you are flying a kite with the sound K, K, K. K sounds K, K, K. Next, we have L. L sounds L. You just have to drag the sound of La. It would sound L. For this, you have to pretend like you're holding a lollipop and trying to eat that lollipop with the sound L. L sounds L. Next, we have M. M sounds M. Imagine that you're very hungry and there are variety of food placed in front of you. How would you react? Your reaction would be mm. M sounds mm. Next, we have N. N sounds mm. For this, imagine there is a aeroplane which is flying with the sound mm. N sounds mm. Next, we have O. O sounds O. It's not O. If you're not getting that sound, point your finger towards your throat. You'll get that sound. It's O. O sounds O. Action for this sound would be O, O, O. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just trying to switch on and off the button with the sound O, O, O. Next, we have P. P sounds P. Imagine there is a beautiful cake placed in front of you and you're trying to blow the candle on it with the sound P, P, P. P sounds P, P, P. Next, we have Q. Q sounds Qua. For this, you have to be a duck and make the sound Qua, Qua, Qua. Q sounds Qua, Qua, Qua. Next, we have R. R sounds R. Imagine there is a puppy which is trying to rip off the rag with the sound R. R sounds R. Next, we have S. S sounds S. Action for this letter would be S. You might have already guessed the sound. It's the hissing sound of the snake. You all can repeat after me. S sounds S. Next, we have T. T sounds stir. Imagine that you're watching a tennis match and ball is being thrown from one court to another court with the sound t, t, t. T sounds t, t, t. Next we have U. U sounds a. For this you have to pretend like you are opening an umbrella with the sound a, a, a. U sounds a, a, a. Next we have V. V sounds va. For this you have to pretend like you're driving a van. Even if you don't know the driving, that doesn't matter. Just pretend like you're driving a van with the sound va, va, va. V sounds va, va, va. Next we have W. W sounds va. Action for this letter would be wa, wa, wa. It's like wind is blowing on your open hands with the sound wa, wa, wa. Next we have X. X sounds x. It's the ending sound of box, fox, etc. For this you will be pretending like you're holding a camera and trying to click pictures with it with the sound x, x, x. You all can repeat after me. X sounds x, x, x. Next we have Y. Y sounds ya. For this you will be pretending like you're holding a yogurt, yummy yogurt, and eating it with a spoon and making the sound ya, ya, ya. Y sounds ya, ya, ya. Next we have Z. Z sounds z. Action for this letter would be z. You might have already guessed the sound. It's the buzzing sound of B. You all can do it with me. Z sounds z. These are the sounds of 26 alphabets. I hope you all enjoyed it. Thank you.
That was really interesting, Sindhu. But you said that there are totally 44 sounds, and I just learned 26 sounds of alphabets. What about other 18 sounds?
There are 18 more sounds. My friend, Miss Angel of Special Sounds, is very keen in this. Now, I request my Angel of Special Sound to demonstrate special sounds.
Thank you, Angel of Sounds. I am Angel of Special Sounds. Today we'll be learning more about it. So, special sounds we'll be learning in 4 different steps. The first one is a combination of letters of a particular sound. Second one would be the sound. Third one would be the action for it. And the fourth one is 2 to 3 examples for the particular combination of letters. Yeah. Let's start with the first one. We are going with S and H. The combination is S and H, and the action would be, and the sound is sh. So together, sh, sh. Examples can be taken as your shirt, shampoo. Yeah. Moving on to the next one, H and D combination, that is C and H. So for this we can have the train chugging action. So this would be the action. Ch. Ch would be the sound. So ch, ch. So the sound is ch and the action is ch, and the examples can be taken as charm, child, children. Okay. Moving on to the next one, we have W and H. So the action would be v. The action would be v, like whistling. WH gives v, and the action can also be taken as what. So the first one would be whistling, and the second one would be what. So actions and sounds we have seen. We'll see 2 to 3 examples. The first one is whistle. Second one would be wheel. Yeah. So next is TH. The last H combination, that is TH. Th. We have 2 sounds. One is inside and the outside. Inside is the and outside is th. Th, the. Th, the. So this gives the sound and action for TH. We can see the examples of 3, 31, 32, 33 examples as such. Now, we have finished with the H ending combination sounds. Now moving on to the E ending combination. Here we have two letters, one is at the beginning, one is at the ending. Whenever you have E at the ending, whatever the alphabet or the letter comes behind it will give you the sound, whatever the alphabet. Now we have here E. The sound can be taken as E. So the photographer always, when clicking the photo, says cheese. Yeah. The same action can be used here. E, E, E. And the examples would be teeth, C, etc. Next, moving on, I, E. So here we can use the action. Before going to the action, let us see what is behind the E. We have I. So the sound would be definitely I. So it's just like adjusting your tie. I. So I would be the sound and action would be I. Yeah. And taking the examples, we have tie, pie, die. So moving on to the next one, we have O, E. So you can use your toe and say the action as O, or otherwise you can also call it as O. So the examples would be toe, do, yeah. So we'll move on to the next E ending combination, that is UE. As you see, the first letter is U. The sound also gives us U. It's just like wanting someone as you. The action is the same. You. And the examples can be taken as rescue, true. So moving on to the next one, that's ER. So we have done with the E ending combinations. Now we'll move on to the R ending. So first one we are having ER. It's like mixer. We can use the sound and action for the same. So yeah. So examples would be mixer, singer, etc. So now let's move on to next one. AR, that is R. So whenever you go to a dentist, not to me, to go to the dentist, so the dentist always says that when to open your mouth and see R, and we say R, the same action, and the sound would be R. Open your mouth and say R. Yes. And the examples would be, you need to stretch that so car, park. Yes. Moving on to the next one, we have OR, that is odd. We can use the and show the example of using the fruit, orange, or, and here the examples would be orange, orchid. Moving on to the next one, that is OU. Here, whenever we get hurt or whenever someone pinches, we say ouch. The same action can be used here. Ow. Yes. And the examples would be pouch, where the students use it, and sound. So let's move to the double O. We have double O. Here we have double O and double sounds. One is O and the other one is O. We have the cuckoo coming out of the cloth and saying cuckoo. The same thing. Here we use it as O. O. One is the short one and the other one is long one. For the short one, we can have cook, took, and the second one we have cool, soon as examples. Let's move on to OI. So it's whenever you have a friend at far, you say I. We can use that action I. And examples would be oil, toy, soil. Yeah, let's move to AI. It's like we use the ears for showing this action. A. So whenever we feel pain, A. Yes. A. And the examples would be pain, say, same, etc. We'll move to QU. That is, action would be, and the sound would be quack, quack, quack. Examples would be quick enough, yes. And the recent one would be quarantine, which we are hearing it every day. Now, CK. It gives the sound of kicking k, and we can have the examples as kick, pick, sick. Moving on to the last one, but not the least, it's NG. We do have a small misunderstanding of this sound as ning. It is not ning actually, it is just ing. You need to use your tongue for it, ing, and the action would be ing, ing. And the examples would be sink, pink, etc. I think it was helpful. Thank you.
Thanks to both the angels. That was an interesting session. I'll definitely make use of those actions and sounds to teach my daughter.
All this while, we were looking at 44 sounds in phonics. Now, let's proceed to form two-letter words. These words are called as VC words because it is created as a combination of a vowel and a consonant, like an, am, at, etc. Once we are able to read two-letter words, we start forming three-letter words. Why not we add one more consonant in the beginning of the VC word and make it a CVC word? Yes, initially we would learn to form CVC words after forming VC word, which is a combination of consonant, vowel, consonant, as in, bat, pan, web, etc. Nisarga,
Yes, Sindhu.
I have a question for you.
Yes, please go on.
If I give you a vowel letter A, which consonant would you add to make two-letter word?
I would add M and that would sound am. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct. So if we add M for A, then it will become am. And also we can add N, which sounds an. Thank you, Nisarga. Okay, then if I give you VC combination like AD, which consonant you add in the beginning to make CVC word?
I would add yes, and that would sound sad. Am I correct?
Yes, Nisarga, you are right. So for the VC combination AD, if you add S, then it will become sad. Likewise, you can add P so that it forms pad. Thank you very much, Nisarga.
Thank you, Sindhu. Can you suggest me some more activities to teach VC and CVC words?
Yes, sure. We can create a board of CVC words where our learners can play together. Here in this game, each learner will have their own pawn. They get a chance to move forward only after reading the word given in the box where their pawn currently is. The learner who reaches first can be declared as the winner. We can also create a slider just like this, where we can ask the learners to read CVC words formed by moving the slider. We can create sliders for all possible VC words to form as many as CVC words. During these activities, learners will be in groups and interacting with the peers and collaborating to form new CVC words, which in turn improves their interpersonal skills. Here is a set of flashcards with CVC words and another set of flashcards with images of CVC words. We can ask the learners to match the CVC words with their image. This activity blends in the kinesthetic of matching the words with their images. And also, this activity focuses on intrapersonal development of the learner.
These activities are really good, Sindhu. Can you tell me what are blends?
Sure. Blends are the combination of two letters. When we pronounce this combination, we can hear the sounds of both the letters present in the combination, as in blur. As soon as we pronounce blur, we can get to know the combination consists of B and L, that is B and L.
Okay. I have heard about digraphs, but I don't know what it is. Can you help me to understand about the digraphs?
Yes, dear. Digraph also a combination of two letters just like blends. But the only difference between blends and digraph is when two letters are combined, they produce a different sound. Just like when S and H together produce sh sound. Nisarga, I have one more question for you. Can I ask?
Definitely, Sindhu.
Okay. If S and H together is pronounced as sh, as in short, shock, etc., can you identify the sound of K and N?
K and N. I'm not able to guess the sound, Sindhu. Can I take help from my friends?
Sure, Nisarga, go on.
Sindhu, most of my friends are saying Na is the right answer. So I would go with the same answer. Na. Is it correct?
Yes, Nisarga, your friends are right. K and N letter together gives the sound of na.
Can you also suggest me some activities for blends and diagrams?
Okay. We can create beautiful and colorful flowers to teach the blends and digraph to our learners. Just like this, while creating such flowers, let's make sure that the inner circle is rotatable so that the learners can rotate the middle portion to form as many as blends and digraphs as possible. And Nisarga, do you use tissue at your home?
Yes, Sindhu.
Okay. So after using the tissues, what will you do with the tissue rolls?
I usually throw them away.
Okay. Look here. We can use the tissue rolls and other rolls to create blends and digraph. And we can use them in practicing reading and pronouncing the blends and digraph with our learners.
That was an interesting way of using tissue rolls, Sindhu. But I have a doubt in my mind. That is, I have come across these words like is, was, this, that, etc., which usually do not follow phonic rules. What are these words called as?
These are the most frequently used words in English and are called as sight words. Some of the sight words do follow the phonic rules, while few don't follow. Nisarga, till now, we have been actually practicing phonics. Now, my friend Vaidehi, who is sitting beside me, will share her experience in teaching English using phonics.
Sure, Sindhu.
Thank you, Sindhu. My organization, Caring with Color, has been implementing the phonics approach in schools to teach English to students. We have observed visible and measurable improvements in reading and writing skills of learners who are at their initial stages of language learning. To evaluate their learning, various assessments are designed. These assessments are conducted one learner at a time, where the assessor and the learner go through various interesting activities together to measure the development in language learning. The assessments have 4 stages and are conducted every month. Phonics continues to be one of the most popular language learning strategies in these schools.
That's wonderful, Vaidehi. I would love to visit your school once.
You are welcome anytime.
Thank you. Can you please suggest me some resources which I can use to teach English through phonics?
Yes, of course. I have a few suggestions for you. For teaching phonics, we have been using one, Pratham Books, which has a wide range of simple stories. Two, websites like Storyweaver and British Council for some new ideas and other information on phonics. Three, we have also used YouTube channels such as Choo Choo TV and Coco Melon, which we use to keep our learners engaged and involved in learning through audiovisual means. Caring with Color has also designed some activities on phonics which are available on our platform called Teachopia. Do check it out.
Sure, Vaidehi. Thank you.
Let us now consolidate our understanding of phonics and summarize what we have learned so far. We have learned that phonics is a methodology used to teach English where listening and speaking is emphasized as much as reading and writing. Emphasis is given on the sound of a letter or on a combination of letters.
Nisarga,
Sindhu.
I have a riddle for you. Are you interested?
Yes, I am.
Okay, the riddle goes like this. I am an English word. If you pronounce me correctly, then you are wrong. And if you pronounce me wrong, then you are right. Who am I?
If I pronounce it correctly, then I'm wrong. If I pronounce it wrong, then I'm right. This sounds very confusing, Sindhu.
The answer is wrong.
Thank you, Sindhu.
Thank you, Nisarga.
Oh, looks like someone is at the door. Let me go and answer. Hello, Narendra. What a pleasant surprise. What brings you here?
Hi Shruti, how are you?
I am fine. What about you?
I am good too. Thank you. Actually, Shruti, I have come here to borrow some book from you. Can you help me to get the books?
Please come in. Let me take you to my room so that you can have a look.
Oh, thank you. Oh, what is this, Shruti? I don't see any books in your room. After seeing this empty room, a well-known saying has come to my mind. A room without books is like a body without a soul.
Wow, that's an excellent example of a simile.
Is that so?
Yes, absolutely. You just compared a room without books to a body without a soul using the word like. Oh, what is this under my foot? It's a pen. I must have dropped it earlier. Seeing this pen reminds me of a metaphor that goes, a pen is mightier than a sword. Narendra, did you know that it is my dream to write my own books with a pen and fill my room with these books?
Oh, it's very interesting. Shruti, actually here the strength of the pen is compared with the strength of the sword. Did you notice that there is no use of like or as? Yet, both the comparison and similarity between a pen and a sword is drawn out vividly. Oh, now I am really getting confused. Can you help me, Shruti, to understand the difference between simile and metaphor?
Sure. Imagine that there is a very tall girl. If I have to use a simile to describe this girl to you, I would say that the girl is as tall as a giraffe, or the girl is tall like a giraffe. While using a simile, we use the words as or like. But if I had to use a metaphor to describe the same girl, I would say that the girl is the giraffe of her class. Here, we do not use the word as or like while forming a metaphor.
Oh, thanks, Shruti. You described the concepts very well with very good examples. With it, I cleared all my doubts.
Narendra, did you know that metaphors can also be depicted in visual form?
No, Shruti.
Yes, these are known as visual metaphors. Today morning, I was reading the newspaper and I saw this advertisement on the front page. In this advertisement, the manufacturing company wanted to say that their car is as strong as a rhino. So, do you know what they did?
Yes, it is. Here they are actually describing the quality of the car by comparing it to a rhino.
Yes, you are correct. They replaced the body of their car with that of a rhino and gave it a caption as tough as a rhino.
Here is another example of a visual metaphor. These visual metaphors very strongly convey that the words are very strong than a gun or a grenade. Words have the power to kill the war.
Truly, I agree with you. I came across another photo in the newspaper that I was reading today morning. It is a photo of a beauty product called the sunscreen. In this photo, you can see a very large tube of sunscreen lotion that is providing shade and protecting the people from the scorching sun on the beach. The beauty product company wanted to say that just like the large tube of sunscreen lotion is protecting the people, applying sunscreen lotion also protects our skin from the harmful UV rays of the sun. They even gave the photo the caption, "This cream protects you from the sun." Isn't that interesting?
Yeah, it's very interesting.
Till now, we have seen a few visual metaphors and their captions. Narendra, here is an image for you. Can you come up with some interesting and creative captions for it using similes or metaphors?
Sure. I will. But I think I need some time to think.
Sure. Take your time.
Shruti, I think melting up caption will well suit the image.
That was excellent. Now, I have another image for you. Can you think of any caption for this one?
Shopping just a touch away.
How nice. What about work from home or shop from home?
Very nice, very nice. What about ClickMart?
That's interesting. What do you think of market in my phone?
Excellent, Shruti. How about from farms to phones?
I like it, but I think that my captions are more suitable than yours.
Oh, even my captions are also very interesting, you know?
Now, I have a riddle for you. Would you like to hear it?
Yes, please.
I can sizzle like bacon, and I come from an egg. I have plenty of backbone, but lack a good leg. I peel like an onion, but I'm always whole. I'm long like a flagpole, yet fit in a hole. Who am I?
I can sizzle like a bacon, and I come from an egg. Lack of good leg, but I always. Oh, this riddle is so confusing, one Shruti. Shruti, with your kind permission, can I take the help from my friends?
Yes, sure.
Shruti, my friends have replied with the answer snake. Is it right?
Yes, they are absolutely right. The answer is a snake.
Oh, then thank you, friends, for helping me to find the answer.
By the way, did you notice anything special in this riddle?
Special. I can sizzle like a bacon, lack a good leg. I feel like an onion. Yes, Shruti, the word like is common in most of the sentences.
Yes, the word like is used many times in the form of a simile. In the same way, you can use riddles to teach your students about similes and metaphors. I have some more ideas for you. You can use songs, rhymes, and poems like the one that we have just seen, movie scenes, and proverbs and sayings to teach similes. Tell me something. Have you ever played the game of treasure hunt?
No, Shruti.
Oh, you must definitely play treasure hunt with your students. You can write the clues in the form of similes and metaphors. Not only is this game a lot of fun, but you can also teach your students the uses of similes and metaphors. Would you like to play another game?
Yes, sure.
Are you ready?
Yes, I am.
There are two lists on the screen. The first list is called the cat list, and the second list is called the penguin list. In each of these lists, we can see a few words. All you have to do is select one word from each list and compare them to find similarities. Make sure that you use similes and metaphors to bring out the similarities. For example, I will select the word police from the cat list and rocket from the penguin list. Can you use a simile or a metaphor to compare the two words?
I think a police should have a speed of a rocket in solving any case. What do you think, Shruti?
Yes, you are absolutely right. We can also say that the mind of a police must be as swift as a rocket. Just like we compared the two words, we would also like our friends to find the similarities between the words using similes and metaphors. But before we do that, let us select the two words. The two words that we will now compare are Johnny and water. Let us now consolidate our understanding of similes and metaphors. We know that a simile is a figure of speech used to compare the similarities between two things using the words as or like. A metaphor is also a figure of speech used to compare two things using the words is and are.
I'm feeling very bored today. Let me call Sindhu and talk to her. Hello.
Hello.
Hi, Sindhu.
Hi, Nisarga.
How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you. What about you?
I'm good, Sindhu. I heard that you bought a new car.
Yes, Nisarga. We bought new car.
Sindhu, you seem to be a little dull today. What happened to you?
Yes, Nisarga. Tomorrow, I want to teach personification to my learners, but it seems very difficult for me to make them understand. So, can you please help me?
Definitely, Sindhu. Now that we are talking about the car, let me start with an example of the same. Your car has windshield, engine, doors, and headlight. Here is a Lightning McQueen, which looks like a car but has eyes, mouth, and tongue. This Lightning McQueen can smile, wink, jump, look at you, and also can wave at you. Though both the images that we have seen are of cars, one of them had all the attributes of human. It could smile, it could wink at you, it had eyes and tongue also. In totality, we can say that Lightning McQueen is a personified car because a non-living car is given human characteristics. So, personification means to give human attributes to a non-human thing.
Thank you, Nisarga. Now I came to know how to make my student to understand the concept personification. Nisarga, can you suggest some activities to teach personification?
Sure, Sindhu. Here are a few transactional ideas which can be taken to the class to help learners to learn about personification. We can ask learners to draw a household article colorfully and also ask them to draw eyes, hands, legs to the object and then come up with some catchy name for that object. While they are introspecting by themselves to add eyes, hands, and legs to the object, they are also thinking of a creative name for their object that they are using and improving their interpersonal skills and integrating art with it. Once they are ready with their drawing, ask the learners to introduce their friend and its usage to the class to make it more interesting and communicative. I have one more activity. You can also ask your learners to explore their surrounding in the school premises and collect as many things as possible within 5 minutes. Then ask them to personify one thing by drawing or pasting hands, legs, eyes, etc. to that thing, including their kinesthetic skill through enacting by assuming themselves to be that personified object. Sindhu, how would it be to have a fancy dress competition?
Sounds like a good idea, right?
Yeah, we can have a fancy dress competition where we can ask the learners to dress like any animals or things and enact in front of their friends. With the help of this activity, they can strengthen their communication skills and makes them very creative in thinking and executing the act. I hope these activities are going to be useful for you, Sindhu.
Yes, Nisarga.
We have learned that personification is a figure of speech which gives human characteristics to a non-human object. Now we reached our checkpoint of fun, that is fun with English. Sindhu, would you like to play this game?
Yes, Nisarga.
So here comes our first image. Take a close look at the image. Take your time to think for a suitable proverb.
A man with apple in his hand. Doctor seems to be afraid. Nisarga, I'm not getting the answer. Shall I take my friend's help?
Sure, Sindhu.
Nisarga,
Yes, Sindhu.
most of my friends are saying that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. Is it right?
Yes, Sindhu, that is the right answer.
Thank you, friends.
Here comes the next image. Sindhu, take a close look at it and think for a suitable proverb.
A man is very happy. Tablet strips in the dustbin. Sorry, Nisarga. Once again, I will take help from my friends.
Sure, Sindhu.
Okay. So here I'm seeing that somebody had sent me, laughter is the best medicine. Nisarga, is it right?
Yes, Sindhu, that is the right answer. Laughter is the best medicine.
Thank you, friends, for helping me. Hey, Nisarga, what is this?
What happened, Sindhu?
Laughter is the best medicine. Okay. At the end, why you have put question mark?
Oh, this sentence might be written by Blunder Bunny.
Who is that Blunder Bunny?
Meet Blunder Bunny. He loves carrots but hates punctuations. He has a special problem with punctuations, and whenever he writes, he messes up their usage. Let us look at some sentences written by Blunder Bunny and let us help him rectify the blunders with respect to commas. Here is the first sentence. It says, "Let us eat, Grandma." There is a mistake in the sentence. Blunder Bunny, did you mean that you want to eat Grandma?
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
Oh, Blunder Bunny, it's okay. I know you didn't mean that. Let us help Blunder Bunny rectify his mistake and correct the sentence. Friends, please add the correct punctuation mark at the end, at the correct place. The correct sentence is, "Let us eat, Grandma." Here comes the next sentence written by our Blunder Bunny. It says, "It's time to eat, children." There is a mistake in this sentence. Blunder Bunny, did you mean that you want to eat children?
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
Oh, Blunder Bunny, I know you didn't mean that. Friends, let us once again help Blunder Bunny correct the sentence. The correct sentence is, "It's time to eat, children." Here is the next sentence written by our Blunder Bunny. It says, "I like cooking cats, cookies, etc." Blunder Bunny, did you mean that you want to cook cats and cookies?
No, I didn't mean that. I didn't mean that.
Oh, Blunder Bunny, I know it's your usual mistake. Friends, once again, let's help Blunder Bunny rectify his mistake by correcting the sentence. The correct sentence is, "I like cooking cats, cookies, etc." Thank you for typing the answers and helping Blunder Bunny. He is very happy. Now, let's look at some common punctuation marks that we use while writing. Full stop, comma, exclamation mark, question mark, brackets, and colon. Let's explore each of them. Meet exclamation mark. He is a magician who tends to shock or surprise his audience by his tricks. So, when you see him in a sentence, you are surely in for a surprise. This is how we use an exclamation mark in a sentence. Next comes question mark. He is always puzzled. and he is very inquisitive about anything and everything. So whenever you see him in a sentence, you must give him an answer. This is how we use a question mark. Meet full stop. He is a strict police officer. Whenever you see him in a sentence, you better stop. This is how a full stop is used in a sentence. Now comes comma. She is a timid and shy punctuation mark. Whenever you see her crossing the road, please pause and wait until she crosses the road. This is how we use a comma in a sentence.
Shruti, here are some transactional ideas which can be used in our classroom. The first idea goes like this. On top of each ice cream stick, paste one punctuation mark. Give some strips containing sentences without any punctuation marks in it. You can teach the learners the appropriate usage of the sentences and also evaluate their understanding by asking them to place the punctuation marks wherever it is required.
This is an interesting idea. Can I try it?
Why not? Then here is your first sentence. Stop painting, Nisha. Which punctuation mark do you use here, Shruti?
I think I would like to use an exclamation mark.
Well done, Shruti. Then here is your next sentence. Will Govin eat? Which punctuation mark do you want to use here?
I think I would like to use a question mark.
Very good, Shruti.
Can you also share more classroom ideas which are related to art and craft that will attract my students?
Sure. The next idea is to create the punctuation pockets. Each pocket will be called by the assigned punctuation mark like comma pocket, full stop pocket, question mark pocket, and so on. Now, create certain sentences without a particular punctuation mark missing in the sentence. Ask your learners to find out the missing punctuation and place the sentence in that respective pocket. Shruti, would you like to try this activity once?
Yes.
In that case, if the sentence is, will Govin eat, where would you place it?
As I had seen earlier, this statement is a question. So I will place it in the question mark pocket like this.
You are very correct, Shruti. This can be followed to the other sentences too. Shruti, let me show you one more activity. It is Kung Fu punctuation. In this activity, you can familiarize the punctuation marks to your learners by associating the actions with each punctuation mark. Here are some punctuation marks. Full stop. Full stop is a single dot. So for full stop, you make a fist and punch. For full stop, you punch. Exclamation mark. An exclamation mark is a line and a dot. So ask your learner to draw a line in the air and punch. Exclamation mark is a line and a punch. Colon. Colon is nothing but two dots. So ask your learner to punch above and below. For colon is to punch above and below. Brackets. Brackets are nothing but two adds, adding at the right and adding at the left. Brackets add to the right and left. Shruti, if we move on practicing with more activities like this, which will definitely help our learners to have better knowledge about the use of punctuation marks.
Thank you for the wonderful ideas. I will definitely use them to teach my students punctuation and to help them understand punctuation marks better. Let us now consolidate our understanding of punctuation marks. We know that a punctuation mark completes a sentence. It conveys the emotion of that sentence, and it also clarifies the meaning of the sentence. If we don't use the correct punctuation marks, we will end up like Blunder Bunny. Thank you, one and all, for being a part of this journey and learning with us. The topics that we covered today are phonics, simile metaphor, personification, and punctuation. I would like to extend my thanks to each and every participant for their active participation. If you choose to use these activities in your classroom, not only will you be entertaining your students, but you will also fulfill the prescribed learning outcomes. As you can see, these are some grade level learning outcomes for grades 4 to 7 that are mapped to the ideas and activities covered in this webinar. Along with that, the ideas and activities are also matched with the chapters in the textbooks. They can be used as supplementary activities to enhance the learning of the students, and you can find them on Caring with Colors platform, Teachopia.
ಈ ದಿನದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೇಟರ್ಸ್ಗೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಮಾಡ್ಯೂಲ್ 3 ಅನ್ನ ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರು ಸಿಂಧು ಮೇಡಮ್ ಅವರು, ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಸರ್ ಅವರು, ನಿಸರ್ಗ, ವೈದೇಹಿ, ಕೃತಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ತುಂಬಾ ಧನ್ಯವಾದ. ಈಗ ಕೊನೆ ಹಂತಕ್ಕೆ ಬಂದಿದ್ದೀವಿ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ. ನಮ್ಮ ಜೊತೆಲಿ ಕಟ್ಲಿಂಗಪ್ಪ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರಿಂದ ವಂದನಾರ್ಪಣೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ ವರ್ಗದವರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಇದಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಸಹಕಾರವನ್ನು ನೀಡಿದಂತಹ ನಮ್ಮ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯ ಮುಖ್ಯಸ್ಥರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ YN ರಾಮಕೃಷ್ಣಯ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಮತ್ತು ವಂದನೆಗಳನ್ನು ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಮಧುಗಿರಿ ಡಯಟ್ನ ಪ್ರಾಂಶುಪಾಲರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಂಜುನಾಥ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ನಮ್ಮ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾಗಿರುವಂತಹ ಕೃಷ್ಣಮೂರ್ತಿ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಹಾಗೆ ತುಮಕೂರು ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಉಪನಿರ್ದೇಶಕರಾದ ಶ್ರೀ ನಂಜಯ್ಯ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೂ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ವಂದನೆಗಳು, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಮತ್ತು ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ನ ಪ್ರತಿನಿಧಿಗಳಾಗಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಬೆನ್ನೆಲುಬಾಗಿ ನಿಂತು ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಗೊಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಮತ್ತು ಹೀಗೇನೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ತೊಡಗಿಸಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಿರುವಂತಹ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಪ್ರಸನ್ನ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ, ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಸೈಯದ್ ಆತಿಕ್ ಸರ್ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಹೇಳ್ತೇನೆ. ಹಾಗೆ ನಮ್ಮ ಮಧುಗಿರಿ ಶೈಕ್ಷಣಿಕ ಜಿಲ್ಲೆಯ ಮತ್ತು ಕೇರಿಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ಕಲರ್ಸ್ನ ಸಂಪನ್ಮೂಲ ವ್ಯಕ್ತಿಗಳಾಗಿ ಈ 3 ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ, ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಇವತ್ತು ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಿಂಧು ಮೇಡಮ್, ನರೇಂದ್ರ ಕುಮಾರ್ ಸರ್, ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ನಿಸರ್ಗ BS, ವೈದೇಹಿ ಪಾಠಕ್, ಈ 4 ಜನ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿ ತುಂಬಾ ಉತ್ಕೃಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಇವತ್ತು ನೆರವೇರಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನ ಯಶಸ್ವಿಗೊಳಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ಕಾಣದ ಕೈಗಳ ಕೆಲಸ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ CRP ಮತ್ತು BRPಗಳು ತಮ್ಮ ವ್ಯಾಪ್ತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬರಬಹುದಾದಂತಹ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕರನ್ನೆಲ್ಲರನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಇನ್ವಾಲ್ವ್ ಆಗೋ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ತಮಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಈ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆಯ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನ ಅರ್ಪಿಸ್ತೇನೆ. ಒಟ್ಟಾರೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೆಸರು ಹೇಳದೇ ಇದ್ರು ಕೂಡ ಆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮದ ಹಿಂದೆ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಜನರ ಪರಿಶ್ರಮ ಇದೆ. ರಿಹರ್ಸಲ್ಸ್ ನಡೆಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಅವೆಲ್ಲವಕ್ಕೂ ಪೂರಕವಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಸಾಹಿತ್ಯವನ್ನ ರಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಯಶಸ್ವಿಗೊಳಿಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಎಲ್ಲ ಫೀಡ್ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಮುಂದಿನ ದಿನಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೂಡ ಉತ್ತಮವಾದ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಕೊಡಲಿದ್ದೇವೆ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥ ಭರವಸೆಯನ್ನು ನೀಡುತ್ತಾ ಭಾಗವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಕ್ಕೆ, ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಟ್ಟಂತಹ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಕೂಡ ಹೃತ್ಪೂರ್ವಕವಾದ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು ಅರ್ಪಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ವಂದನೆಗಳು, ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ.
ಧನ್ಯವಾದ ಸರ್. ಪ್ರೀತಿಯ ಶಿಕ್ಷಕ ಸ್ನೇಹಿತರೆ, ಈ ಕೋರ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಮುಕ್ತಾಯವಾಗ್ತಿದೆ. ಮತ್ತೆ ಸಿಗೋಣ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು.